Hello, and welcome to the University Esports Masters 2024 Rocket League Playoffs. I'm Alec Lecky Spec, and I'm joined by Leah. How are you doing today?
I'm not so bad. The weather's looking well. It's been hot most of the last few days, and it seems to be hot once again. And I'm probably not best dressed for it, but we'll see what we can do. I decided to look sharp for the occasion, and what an occasion we have today, Alec.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be a stream to watch. Now, also, a thing to watch out for is our Twitter over at UE Masters. We have a vote going on. Swiss stage vote play of the Swiss stage on our Twitter, where you can vote for your favorite clip over from the Swiss, where the top vote will receive €25.
Yeah, and that's no small amount either. In the context of things, and a lot of these players may have put up clips but won't be eligible for that prizing for making top four anymore. That Swiss stage, of course, 6 rounds of teams playing each other on roughly equal numbers of wins, gave us a top eight, and those top eight teams battled it out yesterday to try and make it into today's final couple of games. And let's have a look at the teams that made it. Obviously, there might be a little surprise for some of you who were watching yesterday. Any Dutch fans, we hate to break it to you, but unfortunately, they weren't available to play today, and so Hampton Esports Black have progressed directly to that losers bracket final. They play Dr. Boomen, the sole representative of Germany, and waiting for the winner of that losers final is Pesto University out of Genoa, the Italian team which has not dropped a series all year but has come close on 2 occasions to Boomen in the past.
Yeah, now we are just going to have a quick look of the calendar for University Esports Masters. And there is tons that you can look forward to. Obviously, today is the 12th of May, is the grand final for Rocket League. And this is going to be an intense grand final. We also do have Valorant coming up with the playoffs pretty soon as well as League of Legends. So there is lots to look forward to.
That indeed, and let's have a look at that sweet prize pool as well. Have a discussion about some of the prizes these teams are going to be winning today. Of course, anyone you see on your screen today has already secured that minimum of €300 for themselves. A decent sized prize to say the least, so they could be doubling it with a win in that first series. And of course, the winner in the final series will net their team an additional €450. That grand prize is half of the entire prize pool to do that.
Yeah, a lot of money is on the line for these teams, and these teams have already secured a little bit of that prize pool. But today's going to determine who takes the big prize, who takes first place as we look. We're going to circle back to the bracket quickly, as you mentioned earlier on in the bracket now. Unfortunately, we have had a forfeit from Leiden, which is going to see Roblack take the third spot of this tournament, and they are going to be playing Dr. Boomin in the lower bracket final, who will determine who plays Pesta Genoa in the grand final.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I'm not sure how this first series is gonna go. We've seen Doctor Boomin has had a range of results so far. Dropping 3 games against Technical University Dublin was not really an option on the bingo cards, let alone one on mine. And of course, Sweet Leiden, which felt like a surprise coming off the back of that series, and they had a decent showing against Genoa. And of course, Roe Black have broken the code yesterday as well with their upset against their A team, no less, before getting beaten down by Pastor Genoa in that sweep. Roe Black, of
Yeah,
course, made that run, beat Vertigo handily, and that would indicate that maybe they've got a decent shot in this series, but they've not had the warm-up series against Leighton. They will be going into this off the back, probably a scrim, you would hope. But failing that, just completely cold, and Dr. Booman, maybe a little early in the day for them as well. We saw some jitters yesterday.
yeah, just a little bit of jitters, and we are going to quickly, we mentioned it a bit, but we are going to quickly have a look of the schedule for today, which we are looking very, very forward to. Round one is going to be well, it was round three is supposed to be at 1 o'clock, but we are going to get shortly into the game within the next 5 minutes or so. So that will be round 1, Roblox versus Dr. Boomin, and then we will have the grand finale, which will be roughly at, I believe, 3:30, Hester Genoa versus whoever comes on top of this game.
Yeah, and of course, if you're in the UK, you need to subtract an hour from each of those times. We are not in Central Europe, not even close. We are a tiny little island in the sea. I suppose it's probably time to really bring the focus to today's series. We've got two teams that I would say both play quite defensively, and it's always a bit of a weird one when you have two teams like that because neither wants to be the team to push first, and that causes quite a lot of tension.
Yeah, definitely. There are 3 teams left that we believed, we thought they were going to be in the top 3, definitely. Obviously, Roblox having that forfeit from Leiden, they're going to secure top 3 pretty comfortably. Going into the first game of the stream, let's get some predictions on the desk. How were we feeling?
Oh dear. My expectations have already been subverted this weekend. Roehampton Black, I said they might snag 4th. They didn't. They've got 3rd already, and it's their A team, which went out in 5th and 6th. I think they can make this close. I think they can get 2 games off Boomin for sure. I'm going to be generous and say it'll be 4-3 Boomin though.
Oh, okay, yeah, a good prediction. Yeah, obviously we are running a tiny bit ahead of schedule whilst we wait for our first game to get underway. But being biased, I would like to see Roblox, put up a good fight here. Obviously, being British, we want to see the fellow Brits, come forward and secure second place, secure that spot in the grand final. But they have Dr. Boomin ahead of them, who are not an easy target to take down.
Yes. And don't get me wrong, I would love to see a British victory too, but, and hear me out, I think if we put Roe Black in that final, they get decimated by Genoa, and I want to see Boomin have at least a decent shot of taking that series and denying Genoa that perfect year. Boomin themselves, of course, comprised of Sai, Zedo, and Fabzo, the current Collegiate Rocket League World Champions, although it's looking likely that they'll retain that title by default this year. They're a strong roster. They're mature. They've got the experience. They've shown they can be shaky against some tough opponents, though. It was Zedo missing, frankly, a relatively easy shot in game number 5 yesterday that would have given them the lead, not only in that game, but potentially in the series. And as a consequence of them missing that, they do have game though. And it's rough already with Dr. Boomin on the front foot.
Yeah, game number 1 of the lower bracket final is going to be underway. Dr. Boomin are going to be on the blue side, Roe Black on the orange, but the blue side are going to score first, and Dr. Boomin are going to be the first team to score a goal on stream.
That's a nice little bump play to get things going as well, taking the player clean out of the rotation and just opening up so much space on the goal. The last player in Roe's defense, they're not really expecting to have to take a touch. I don't think it's definitely not easy to read a player as you're trying to demo them. It's even harder to read the player in front of you is being demoed, and you need to make an adjustment. Roehampton, though, are going to respond straight away. That's Yotam scoring of the 29-second mark.
Yotam and Jacob with the equaliser, a nice little passing play for Roe Black, are going to equalise the scoreline. Already we are at a tie, with both teams scoring 1 within the first 30 seconds of the game. Now, yesterday we did see a very, very strong Roe Black, but we also saw a very strong Dr. Boomin, who, as to Genoa, they're very confident going up against if Dr. Boomin are the team to make it through to the grand final. So we're hoping to see both these teams pick up the aggression, pick up the pace, and maybe just play like a different team today.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I think it'll be a key marker as to how well I think they do against Genoa, should they make it, of course. based on how they played this series. They can definitely choose to play defensive against Red Black. They're definitely under no pressure to make Red Black sweat. And indeed, I think trying to play too offensively might play against them. It's definitely not a comfortable situation for Dr. Boomin to be put in. Roehampton Black, of course, I think are probably more willing to change things up. Yotam, I think, one of the more mechanically talented players on the pitch. Not to say that many of the others are far off his pace, but if someone's going to make the difference, it could be him. And he scored a sec, and that's a brace for the arrival.
Yeah, Yotam with a nice open goal there. No one challenging him. Zed and Fabzo can't get back to that. And that is going to bring Roadblock already up 1-goal deficit. 3 minutes 20 on the clock. There's still plenty of time for Dr. Boomin to come back. We do know that they are a team that give it their all. They gave it their all yesterday, and they are going to try give it their all to get back into another game with Pesto Genoa. But it would be good to see Roadblock there. Obviously, they are Roehampton's B team, so we weren't expecting them to get as far as they have. However, they're putting up an incredible performance.
I think maybe there's a blurred line as a consequence of this series. I know a lot of the domestic season it wasn't Yotam playing. The Black team had DJ, the learned Welshman, on that Rocket League scholarship program in his stead, and they didn't perform quite so well against Roe Gold, but it seemed like his first series back against them in the playoffs. I think they might have had a close one with the Swiss as well that went to Game 5. And just showing that actually the two teams aren't that far apart, and after a bit of feeling each other out, maybe this Roe Black side is just the better of the two teams.
Yeah, maybe so, and they're looking like the better of the two teams on the pitch right now, but still with 2 minutes left on the clock. There's still time for Dr. Boomin to get another goal off, and obviously both teams, they are just feeling each other out. They're getting the vibe for the game, and it's feeling like we're in for a very good lower bracket final, as we're seeing Roadblock maybe with a chance to put pressure on the Dr. Boomin net, but Zedo's going to clear that away, use all of his boost, get a 50, but Jacob's going to throw that into the blue corner, just put even more pressure on the Dr. Boomin team. We've not seen Dr. Boomin with much pressure onto the orange net so far. However, that could change.
Yeah, I think it's important to keep in mind that it's not going to take much, really, to break down the defence. Zedo, with a fake there, sets up Fabzo nicely, but it's off the post, and that's well read by Jacob to ensure it doesn't go in the back of the net. The ball in open space for Fabzo once again, though, off the corner. Beat it a second time, but cut off by Neokwan to ensure that Roehampton Black can hold this lead for a little longer.
Yeah, 1 minute left on the clock, and Roadblock are looking like they might run away with this series, but still lots of time left for Dr. Boomin, as that ball is going to go towards the blue net. Roadblock are looking pretty strong. Neokwan now with a good 50, with a bit of a dunk, maybe a pass up to mid. No one's going to be there to receive it. You're going to see Yotam pick up 100 boost. It's going to be demoed in the process. This could be a chance for Dr. Boomin. Going to get some pressure on the net as someone is demoed. Are going to respawn. 30 seconds left on the clock. We're going to have to see Dr. Boomin do something now. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case with Roadblock. Putting tons of pressure on that blue net. And that's going to go in for Jacob. And that is going to be the 3rd goal for Roadblock this game.
The power of presence just being demonstrated perfectly by Yotam there. Showing up in the box, forcing an early jump. It's a loose touch, and all Jacob has to do is put it in a part of the net that isn't really being covered by the remaining Boomin player. And with a 2-goal lead in 20 seconds, I mean, we've seen some late goals yesterday, especially in that Boomin Pesto series. But we haven't seen a team really take a game back in the final 20 seconds in the way I think would generate the same excitement. Neokwan just getting in the way there, shaving off some time, and the ball got too far to go now. Fabzo will try his. Roehampton Black are the ones to take game number 1 here.
Roehampton Black taking game number 1. Maybe a scoreline that we didn't expect to see. However, it is one that the fellow Brits are going to be loving at the moment. 6 shots on target for Roehampton Black and 2 saves. They kind of ran away with that game in the second half.
Yes, it was odd because I feel like in my perception of the time of the game, the second goal came quite early on. But now you mention it, that's less the case, really, and it just sort of seemed to slowly but surely fall Roehampton Black's way, and that's quite a comfortable way to play out this series. I think Dr. Boomen, I think, are well known for not having the same offensive prowess as some of the other top teams in Europe, and so getting that lead and forcing them to be proactive is maybe the best way to try to take them down. But of course, requires them to get a lead in the first place, though, and I'm sure Dr. Boone will do anything in their power to prevent that from happening. Sai looking to cut off a play, sets up Fab so nicely. The ball in the corner, and it's going to be awkward for Yotam to get this out, especially facing off against Zedo on a near full tank of boost.
Yeah, now going into game number 2, we're seeing Dr. Boomin with a bit more aggression. Maybe they just needed that one game to sort of warm up against Roblox, but Roblox are still going to be up in the series with the advantage. Yotam with a bit of an awkward touch, and we're going to see Fabzo with maybe the pass out. Zedo shot on target, maybe a double tap for him, but Neoclan with a perfect save. Pick up the 100 boost there. Yotam going to get a touch there. It's going to go over to the sidewall. Fabzo with another shot on net. We are just seeing Roblox kind of packed into their goal at the moment. Tons of aggression is coming from Dr. Boomin.
But being cut off once again, though, and it's Roehampton Black, who I think might have one of the more offensively potent plays this game, as Yotam looks for a solid 50, but Fabso, carrying too much speed, is going to get that ball over to Sai with the musty flick, and he knows exactly where to put that shot to stop Roguelike getting an answer early on here.
A nice mechanical pass over to Sai in the midfield. Send that into Roblox net. Dr. Boomin are responding to that first game loss with a brilliant show of display for mechanical ability. And that was a beautiful goal there. And we're going to have to see Dr. Boomin kind of pick that up and keep the momentum there with the plays. Obviously, we know Dr. Boomin are really, really good with their team plays. So many times yesterday, as well as in the Swiss, looking to see more of those team plays and utilizing all players on the field, as Fabzo's going to put a shot on net, easily saved. Neoclan pass out, looking for Yotam in the mid. It's not going to get quite the touch that he wanted. And we're going to see Dr. Boom with another opportunity to put this on net as Sai gets the flip reset over 1 over 2. And that's going to be the second goal for Dr. Boom in this game.
And that's the flower I think we were searching for in game number 1. When they can get an offense going, it's sometimes very, very pretty to look at from Dr. Boomin. And that's a sort of confidence I think Hyder was referring to in the interview yesterday, that he felt Dr. Boomin lacked as their series went on.
Yeah, definitely. But we are seeing a total different Dr. Boomin, but we are seeing a total different Roblox as well. Obviously, all of the teams left in the top 3 went 4-2 in the Swiss stage. They had a relatively similar Swiss stage, but Roblox kind of felt like the worst off of the two Roehampton teams, at least in my opinion, seeing it in the Swiss stage. However, they seem to be putting up such a good fight in this lower bracket final.
Well, let's see what they can do against yet another attack. The onslaught seemingly unending from Dr. Boom, and I can't remember the last time Roblox looked like had a chance at a shot as Sai launches another ball towards net. Fabso going to play this just to the left with the final defending player. I think that was Neoclan, just caught stunned and under a lot of pressure from Sai as he was looking for demolition.
Yeah, third goal for Dr. Boomin, and like you mentioned, we haven't really seen Roblox with any opportunity whatsoever this game. Kind of a complete opposite of the first game. Roblox were completely in control in the second half. And it didn't seem like Dr. Boomin had much of an opportunity, but here's another one for them in this game as they're going to take the fourth. A nice pass from Fabzo over to Zedo.
Yeah, I can't even really call that much of a loose ball. Yotam didn't get the worst first touch in the world, but that ball was taken clean off the front of his car by a very solid and very quick 50 to prevent Yotam really getting a play going, and he has been the point man in many cases for Roehampton Black, especially in that game number 1.
Yeah, we are seeing very, very strong plays from the Dr. Boomin team. 2 minutes left on the clock, and this game has really felt like Dr. Boomin have ran away with it. Obviously, there is still time for Roblox, but with such an incredible team like Dr. Boomin, who have finally looked like they've found their step, they've found their groove, it's going to be really hard to come back, especially with a 4-goal deficit. But we're going to see Jacob try to get a touch up there over to Neokwan and hit that onto the backboard. Now maybe a shot for Yotam, but isn't going to get a touch on that ball. A good opportunity now for me Fabzo to put this on net, and it is going to go past Yotam and Neokwan, but there is going to be a save from Jacob in the net. He just gets that by the skin of his teeth.
It felt like Jacob was trying to slow play it in the midfield there and bait one of the players in, but ended up just taking too much time, not quite got a solid read on the pace of Dr. Boomin yet, and therefore they got punished, and this counter-attack is looking very threatening once again. Sai, I think, forced to turn tail here. There wasn't enough boost in the Boomin tanks and also sustain that. He's got another reset though, but cut off by Yotam before he's able to do anything with that.
Going into the final minute of the game, Dr. Boomin are looking like they're going to run away with game number 2, but Jacob's going to try and respond. That's going to be saved out now for the counter-attack. Fabs is going to get pumped out the way, but Sai's there with a shot on net. Neokwan with an easy save. Going to take the play slow, and Yotam going to try to get that 50. It's not going to go in his favour, though. We go into the final 30 seconds of the game. There's not much that Roblox can do. They're still backed up in their corner, backed up in their goal, as Zero's going to take another goal this game.
Yeah, and I think we have to kind of admit if it wasn't over before that, it probably is now. This game will almost certainly be going over to Dr. Boomin, but it's going to be a question of how Roblox are able to bounce back going into game number 3. These aren't necessarily that long series. There's only really 25 minutes worth of gameplay left, dividing one of these teams from the final, and that's at most. And Roblox will need to prepare themselves mentally for regaining in game number 3, because if they don't start getting the ball rolling soon, it will very much be a disaster class as we head into the latter portions of this series. That consolation goal, I'm sure, lifting the moods just a little bit, but does come off the back of a massive Dr. Boomin overcommit. We see Zedo there scrambling back, really wasn't in third position by the time the 50 had been taken and lost by his teammate.
Yeah, that one goal for Roblox might just boost the morale going into game number 3, but ultimately, this game has gone completely in Dr. Boomin's favour as we're going to see the time second down. Maybe another goal is going to be scored, but that's going to hit the floor, and Dr. Boomin are going to take game number 2, a great way to respond to Roblox's win in game number 1.
Oh, and I'm looking at those shot counts as well. I can't quite see size there. I think they've gone for a car change, but we can see, based on the save count on Roehampton's side, there must have been a lot from Sai in that game. To have been 10 saves from Roehampton and another 5 goals to still have been scored. Roehampton definitely need to put more up, but I'm not sure how they get to the fronts. They've really just been shut down on repeat by Dr. Boomin here.
Yeah, shut down. They were, obviously in the first game, they looked really comfortable in the controls, but Dr. Boomin have found their groove. That game, they looked like a total different team compared to the first game. It's kind of the Dr. Boomin that we're used to, putting up some really, really good passing plays, really good solo plays as well. And yeah, with the 10 saves from Roehampton Black, that shows just how dominant Dr. Boomin were in game number 2. We're going to hope to see more of that going into game number 3.
Yes, and I think maybe as time goes on, we'll see Roehampton Black work their way back into this. But of course, they do need to start making those shots. One thing maybe we could do seeing a little more of is some bump and interruption plays, but I've not been keeping a super close track of those boost meters. If they're as low as I've seen they have been at times, it's going to be very difficult to make those plays in the first place in order to open up the pitch for themselves.
Yeah, opening up the pitch might just be the way to go, or Roblox especially, as Dr. Boomin are a team that we do expect to come on top. However, Roblox are still a very, very strong team, and just opening up the field, getting a demo off, might just be what's needed, but that is going to hit the crossbar, and that could have set things off for Dr. Boomin in game number 3. Zedo made with a pass from Fabzo, that's going to be intercepted by Neokwan. Hit that off of sides, going to put the pass over to Yotam. We are just going to see maybe the counter-attack come from Dr. Boomin now. They're looking to put the first goal on target for this game.
I think there's a conversation to be had about loose touches again. It very much felt like Yotam wasn't aware of Zedo hanging around on the backboard and ended up playing this. Okay. That's an opening goal for Hampton Black, their first of the series. We'll see if they can maintain it, as the awareness seems to have picked up. Yotam faking out the defense there, choosing not to take an additional touch, just let it fall to the floor, and the last defender already having used their boost goes sailing on past. But Yotam previously tried to play a double tap off the backbone on an area that Zedo was covering, and that was the beginning of a counter-attack for Dr. Boom. And we need to be very careful and very respectful of the areas which Dr. Boom have control, because they're not the sort of team that are going to miss a defense.
They are the sort of team that's going to miss a defense.
Defensive, please help me out. Oh my god. Yeah, it's your turn, Alec. Just talk.
It's the caster's curse there, as we see one. I don't know, was it Zedo? I think Zedo was the one that misses that touch there in the sky, and that's going to be an easy goal for Roblox just to take. And Dr. Boomin are going to be kicking themselves. That's not a goal that you want to be losing. Obviously, we're not used to Dr. Boomin missing those defensive touches, as you were away to say, but they have just proven you wrong, and anything can go in these games, as we're going to have to see Sai pick up the pace a little bit. A shot's going to go on net. Yotam just save that easily. Over into the corner. Look for a pass out to his teammate, maybe with Zedo. He's just going to get a nice touch there. Just going to deny any pass. Neoquan now over, putting the ball onto net. Jacob in with a shot. The ball is going to go up. Pass over to midfield. Yotam's going to put that on net, and Zedo is going to make the save.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity now, I think, for Dr. Boom to try to build off of this. They've got Roehampton Black back-footed, but Yotam again looking to trick the defense. Boomin, they're good at defending, but they have to get a read on the play first, and I think Yotam is very good at taking these subtle changes in direction to the ball. As Sai, I think, tried to a little there as well, couldn't work out if the fake was intentional or not, and it very almost worked regardless. So maybe needing to see some change up from Dr. Boomin as well, trying to confuse this Roehampton Black side. We'll see a bit more of an offensive game out of these two classically defensive sides.
Yeah, this is looking like a total different Dr. Boomin team than game number 2. They ran away with the game, and now they're looking like they've met their match in game number 3 with Roblox. Taking such an aggressive approach. They're having a lot of control on this ball. They're really not letting Dr. Boomin do much with it. Obviously, they have just let one easy goal slip. And I believe that was Zedo that let that in. And Zedo was the one who missed the open goal last. I believe that was yesterday. He had let that open goal in, and that was crucial for them to get that goal. So we're seeing a couple of whiffs. It's to be expected. You're in a high pressure situation, obviously, in the lower bracket final. But with a team like Dr. Boomin, we do know that they can bounce back from it as we go into the final 1 minute 40 of this game. It's not over yet. Roblox only 2 goals up. Dr. Boomin maybe looking like he can get counter-attack going any moment now.
And yet it's been cut off again. It seems like this game, they've just not been afforded as many loose touches as they had been previously. Things have been tidied up on this London-based side. Sai, I'm sure, looking to prove me wrong, as Bowman have subverted my expectations multiple times this game already. Fabso to the top right-hand corner, but it's just a little too slow. The follow-up may be enough, but again, blocked Zedo. The pass out to Fabso is straight into Neoquan's car. Sai looking for the follow-up, but Yotam is going to bundle that over to Jacob on the left side of this field.
And that was the opportunity for Dr. Boomin to score their first goal of the game. A lot of pressure there, but Roblox are bringing an incredible defensive game. A little boost in the tank for a lot of their players. They're still able to make saves like that. That's gonna be what they need to stay on top of the game. But we are seeing Dr. Boomin put up a lot more pressure in the orange half now as we go into the final 30 seconds. Yotam's going to send that over to the blue side. Now Zedo looking for the pass over to Zai, but Jacob's going to be intercepting that in the midfield. Now with an easy save from Neoquan. He's just going to look to waste some time here as Yotam into the corner as we go into the final 20 seconds. It looks like Roblox have got this in the bag, but as we go into the final 10 seconds, anything is possible.
It's a long way to go down the pitch. Sai, with a tank of boost, is going to try and get the bump on Yotam, and that's an opportunity opened up. It's barreling over the top, but the timer expires before Dr. Boomin are able to put this shot into the back of the net and secure themselves another kickoff. For a Hampton Black, by the skin of their teeth, surviving and holding that 2-goal lead.
Yeah, surviving is probably the theme of that game. They just about made it out there. There was a lot of shots put on net. by Dr. Boomin in that second half, about in the last minute or so of the game. Roehampton Black putting up some incredible shots. I was having 7 shots there, and I believe having another 7 saves as well. So Roehampton Black putting up an incredible game with Dr. Boomin. However, we saw Dr. Boomin pick up the pace in that second half. It looked like they were getting into the groove of things a little bit. It was a little bit too late, but we're looking to see that game 2 Dr. Boomin come back in the next game.
Thing is, I don't think them picking themselves up offensively is perhaps the problem. It's just an overall confidence issue, because it was Zedo, the player who missed the crucial shot in Game 5 against Pesto Genoa yesterday, that missed a critical defensive touch just now that secured Roehampton Black near enough that game altogether. And Roehampton Black, if they're going to be given more opportunities like that, or more gimmies, I suppose, because that ball just went over everyone's head into the back of the net, and Neokwan again, capitalising on a double commit from his Dr. Boomin defence, is going to secure Roehampton Black the lead here.
Yeah, Roehampton Black are going to open things up. Neokwan with a nice play shot over Fabzo. And Roehampton Black seem to be just in total control of the series. Obviously, Dr. Boomin do still have time to pick things back up again. But when we spoke to Hydra from Pesto Genoa yesterday, obviously, the words from him himself was that he was very confident, and Dr. Boomin were the only team that could sort of put a stop to them in the grand final. And now we're seeing Dr. Boomin go against Roe Black, who we did not expect to be here in the first place, and they're not doing as well as we thought. Do we maybe think that Roe Black stand a chance for Pesto Genoa?
I would say better than Roehampton Gold did in the winter, actually. They got swept in the CRL winter final by Genoa, but I want to say this Roehampton Black side looks more mature. They're handling Boomin very well in a way that I think Pesto struggled with early on in their series yesterday. And if we're able to hold this sort of composure against Pesto Genoa, we could see them taking a good number of games.
Yeah, hopefully that is the case. We would love to see Roe Black go through as British people ourselves. However, that might not be the case. Dr. Boomin are looking pretty strong, but it is Roe Black who have the advantage in the series and this game as they're 1 goal up. Yotam looking for another touch here. He is going to get it. Zedo now with a touch. Neokwan with a perfect little 50 is going to send that ball over in front of the net, and Jacob is going to take goal number 2 for Roe Black.
And again, look at the fake. Neokwan jumps once, jumps back down. Sai is taking that touch there just to try and stop Neokwan doing anything on net, but it ends up being a tap down for Jacob to capitalise on. And it looks as though Dr. Boomin is falling apart at the seams, which is a subtle irony given their mascot is a plush owl. That little thing can't be feeling too happy at the moment, looking at this team slowly but surely just struggling more and more to deal with Roehampton Black's offense.
Yeah, Dr. Boomin kind of looking like they're just scrambling for a goal at the minute. That's going to be on net, and that is going to be the goal that they maybe need to kick them off of game number 4. Nice little pass from Fabzo over to Sai, and that's going to make its way past Yotam and past Neokwan in the net into the bottom left corner. 3 minutes left, a 1-goal deficit. The game is still very much winnable for Dr. Boomin, but they are going to have to put up an incredible fight.
I liked the pressure from Yotam on that defense area. It forced a touch, but Neokwan was a little too far ahead of that back post to really make anything of it. The ball now kind of awkwardly hanging around the corner again. That's how we just saw Dr. Boomin score, but it's worked its way out, and it could be well how Dr. Boomin score again off the back of Roehampton Black using too many resources on a dead area of the field. Fabzo now looking to continue this play. I thought Zedo might be waiting for that ball, but it's just going to be a loose one for Roehampton to pick up.
And this could be an opportunity for Yotam, but an awkward touch there isn't going to leave a good opportunity for him. With Jacob with a touch over to the sidewall, we're going to see Sai clear that away. Zero taking his time. Not a lot of boost in the tank for this Dr. Boomin team compared to Roe Black. That is going to be huge, but Fabzo's picking up the 100 boost. But plenty in the tank now to pass over to Sai. He's going to take this onto the wall. Nice little touch there. Continue that over to the pass, and Zero's going to miss it, unfortunately. But that could have been a really good opportunity for Dr. Boomin to equalise this game.
As soon as some of these sides become the the favoured, things changed mentally for them. And we've seen this a couple times this week. Zedo was looking far more composed in Dallas against some of the toughest competition in the world. And it's his teammates now who are having to bail him out in these very tense situations. They have now tied it up in game number 4, and critically so, because Roehampton, if they take this game, are going to have 3 consecutive match points with which to take this slower bracket final.
Yeah, nice demo working in favour of Dr. Boomin there. And he equalised the game with 1 minute 40 left. We could see the first overtime of the stream, but with Dr. Boomin with a shot like that, it's going to be a lot harder to see it. Fabzo is going to put that one on net with a nice pass from Sai. A good kickoff goal. It's going to put Dr. Boomin in lead of the game for the first time this series.
Yes, and holding it now, I think, will prove the challenge. They have dropped lead and conceded once before. I was in game number 1. Feels like an year ago now. It was at least 10 minutes back. But I think this time, the momentum has swung massively in their favour. Roehampton Black really haven't looked to be doing too much on offense in the last 2.5 minutes, I want to say. And even though they had this big lead at the start of the game, they've kind of waned as things have gone on. It's as though Dr. Boomin have sussed things out. Jacob, though, will look for a flick. It's over one. Fabso with a touch off to the side. Yotam on low boost with a pass to Neoquan to the bottom right, but it's going to be blocked away by Zedo, and this time the touch is clean and will not immediately set up another red-black pair.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining on the clock with Dr. Boomin in the lead so far. Would not have expected that at the first half of this game, but this Roblox team haven't really done much, as you mentioned, in the final 2.5 minutes or so. We maybe see an opportunity for Dr. Boomin here with a shot from Sai. A bit of a double commit in the net, however, but it's going to be saved nonetheless. Yotam, nice 50 there. He's going to take it slow. Maybe get the pass up to Neoquan. Neoquan with a bit of a fake there. Going to send Sai back to the corner. Jacob looking for a touch. He isn't going to quite get it. As we go into the final 30 seconds, Neoquan is looking strong, and the bump is going to come from Jacob, and that's going to be the equaliser for Roblox.
You do not want to miss with Mr. Southwood when he's angry. Just diving straight in. Zedo, try as he might to run away, cannot get away from that incoming attacker.
And what a good bump there, a crucial bump to send us into overtime maybe, unless we get another famous Dr. Boomin kickoff goal. Might not be the case if he's going to the final 15 seconds of the match. We're seeing a good attack attempt from Roblox. With Neoquan up, he is going to be demoed. The ball is still in front of the blue net. Shot's going to come from Jacob. It's going to be safe from Fabzo. As we go into the final 5 seconds of the match, we might just get the first overtime of the stream.
And it is an overtime in game number 4. So your whole series could come down to this, frankly, right? If this ball goes Roehampton Black's way, that's a lot of pressure for Dr. Boomin to deal with here.
Yeah, if Dr. Boomin aren't winning this overtime, it is going to send Roblox to 3 in the series compared to Dr. Boomin's 1. They're going to be on a bit of the back foot. Kind of looking like Roblox might take this overtime. They're putting a good attack on now, but now we're seeing Dr. Boomin with a good counter attack. Jacob's faking the save. A bit dangerous in front of his own net, but it is going to work in favour of Roblox, and maybe a pass is going to go out to midfield, but Zedo going to get a nice touch there just to stop anything from happening with that ball. Neoquan, bit of an awkward touch, and to pick up the 100 boost nonetheless. Maybe a good opportunity for him here. He's going to go over Zedo, but Zedo's going to get a touch nonetheless. As you go into 1 minute of overtime, Roblox are looking a little bit too strong for Dr. Boomin.
Well, we'll see if it comes to a goal in just a little while. A minute gone in this overtime, and of course, no movement on the scoreboard yet. Means no team has yet won this game. Fabso perhaps looking to change it though. Got some beast in the tank, looking for a flick. Yotam with a long deflection will clear this all the way down the pitch.
Yeah, we're seeing Roblox now maybe put on a bit of an attack, but we're seeing Sai in the corner, picking up the 100 boost. He is going to make the pass over to Fabzo, and Fabzo's going to score that and sink game number 4 for Dr. Boomin, and it's going to tie the series.
Yeah, you can see Jacob there trying to shadow defend on the side wall, but when you're moving in that direction, you have to be careful that you're not just going to push that ball towards your own net. It looked as though Roblox's defense was all gathered on that near post, trying to prevent a very quick, fast goal. But of course, Dr. Boomin have the entire net to play with. They can put it right at the back. if they absolutely need to, and that's exactly what they did to secure game number 4.
Yeah, exactly what they did. And now we're tied in the series, Dr. Boomin with 2 and Roehampton Black with 2. And what an even-paced game. The game kind of felt really even. Maybe not so during the first half of it. However, 11 shots for Dr. Boomin and 10 for Roehampton Black. They both had 6 saves. There was a lot done offensively and defensively for both teams.
Indeed, indeed. Now, I don't want to say this is the inflection point for a series, but that was a catastrophic throw from Roehampton Esports Black to have that 2-goal lead, to lose it, to just about force that overtime, and then lose it on what seemed like a fairly simple goal in the grand scheme of things. We've seen far better from Dr. Boomin to force the defense. What are your thoughts, Alec?
Yeah, that's going to maybe throw them off a bit morale-wise. Obviously, losing to such just an easy-looking goal, as you said. It's not as flashy as we've seen from Dr. Boomin. So, it might just lower morale, but they are going to have to get back into the swing of things as we go into game number 5. Obviously, Black looked very, very strong there. Just kind of let themselves go in overtime. See a bit of a double commit there in the net from Black, but a flip is going to come from Yotam over to Jacob. Not a lot of boost in the tank. He's going to send it up to the midfield. Fabzo maybe with a shot. Neocon with a mess, and that's going to be huge for Black.
Yeah, that's definitely not the starting point that we're looking for, was it? Neocon under a lot of pressure from the side there. It was a decently placed shot, and of course the bump plays, we've seen them so often today, so often yesterday, and I'm sure you got a lot of them last week as well. It's just quite difficult to handle.
Yeah, definitely very difficult to handle, and we are going to have to see a lot more bumps. If these teams want an easier time, Zero maybe with the fake of the Musty flip. Very, very good choice to make there as he goes under one of the Black members. But yeah, with 1 minute taken off of the timer for this game, Dr. Boomin putting that 1 goal up are looking very, very strong at the moment, but Neoquan could be looking to redeem his mistake for the first goal, putting that up for Yotam. Yotam looking for a bump. He isn't going to quite get it. And this is going to be a bit of an overcommit from Jacob, the third man, for Black, leaving the goal wide open for Fabzo to put his second goal in.
Are we seeing a repeat of Boomin's series against Pastel yesterday? That's definitely what this feels like. Black were looking so much stronger, it felt like, in the early part of this series, but seem to be running out of momentum slowly but surely. We've seen them recover a deficit before, but not one as big as this.
Well, definitely not, but you can't always call it out. But Dr. Boomin, no, they're gonna kind of put all hopes for Black into the bin a bit, as we see a nice little pass from Fabzo over the side. It's just gonna go over Jacob, and Neoquan can't make it in time to that ball. And yet Dr. Boomin with a 3-goal deficit. There's still 3 minutes 40, and I like to be optimistic. You know, there's still plenty of time left, but Dr. Boomin are looking like a total different team in this game. But Yotam's going to respond to that goal, and this could be what Black need to get them going in this game.
And it's the first one, yeah. I mean, it's come early as well. I feel like with 3.5 minutes on the clock, there's still quite a lot they can do. I think we saw Leyden almost recover a 3-goal deficit in their series against Dr. Boomin yesterday. They just weren't really able to do much more with it. Jacob now looking to continue the offense, but it's cut off by Zedo in the midfield. Fabzo with that fault was looking threatening, but Neocon's coming off the ceiling. It's dropped down side, can't get to it, and all of a sudden things are starting to turn around here.
Yeah, Neoquan with a nice little play there off of the ceiling. Zero can't quite get to it. Inside can't get to it either. And that's going to be pretty huge for Black, making it a 1-goal deficit. And like you said, it is still very, very early on. So it is very possible that they come back from this game, especially with 2 quick goals like that in concession with each other. But now we're going to see Yotam take that over to Neoquan. This could be a bit huge, but Jacob is going to just kind of secure that ball away for the time being for Black. Yotam looking a bit awkward there, but he is going to get the touch nonetheless. And we're seeing a very even-paced game now. Obviously, Dr. Boomin looked like they were running away with the game in the last minute or so, but Black seemed to have responded perfectly.
Well, it won't be perfect until they've tied it up again, I don't think. There's a lot of time here for either this lead to be extended once again, or for things to come back. Yotam, though, been gifted an opportunity. Neoquan with a bump onto Yotam, a tap down from Jacob isn't enough. perhaps another opportunity will come very soon. Neoquan with a tap down, a follow-up, almost beating outside, but it's tantalizingly close to the edge without ever entering the goal until a touch from Jacob off both posts, deflection from Sai goes into the own Dr. Booman's own net. And we see it didn't take long. I think it took 70 seconds. That's how quickly Roehampton Black can flick to using that reserve power and carry on pushing through this very long, very exhausting game number 5.
Yeah, Roblox, now we can say they have responded pretty perfectly, equalizing the game, but with 2 minutes left, anything is still possible. Are going to have to see Dr. Boomin kind of pick up the momentum a bit, so we see a pass over to Fabzo, going to leave the ball in the air a little bit. Yotam, they have a fake touch there, Sai's going to be left out over in front of the net. Not going to be too damaging as we see him up now with a nice maybe opportunity to make a pass, but Yotam is going to deny any opportunity. You see the ball go into the corner, and Dr. Boomin are looking like they're maybe picking up the pace a bit, picking up the aggression, and that's what we haven't seen from them for the last maybe 2 minutes or so. But we're seeing Roblox play very, very like in sync with each other, which I don't think Dr. Boomin were expecting.
No, not at all. I think Dr. Boon will very much have been caught off guard by this change of pace, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's changed, but it feels like they've been a little risky with their passing of Roehampton Black. They've not been resting on their laurels quite so much, and while maybe that was what won them games 1 and 3, they're going to need a little more spice. Perhaps too much spice there as that ball almost trickles over everyone's heads into the back of the orange net.
Yeah, and this could be another opportunity, but Yotam with a nice save. Zero setting this ball up high as we go into the final minute. We are still equal with 3-3 as the scoreline. We are seeing Roblox with a chance to maybe put this on net. It's going to be saved by Sai. Neoquan is going to be demoed. That's going to take him out for a little bit and give Dr. Boom the chance to maybe set a counter attack going. With 45 seconds left, we are looking maybe a pass opportunity over to Zed. Sai with a nice, well, Yotam with a nice little save in the net. 30 seconds left on the clock. We might be sent into another overtime for the second time in a row.
That we may well be. 30 seconds left on this clock. Fabzo, awkward control of this ball in the corner, ends up leaving some space for Jacob, who looks for a bump on Sai once again, who seems to have been the secret to this defense. Getting the demo on Sai as last man has led to so many goals this Roehampton side that they have to be careful that Sai can't respond with a demo themselves. Jacob trying to drop this down into the box. Fabzo, the play out, Neoquan, backflip flick. Who's it being played to? It's Zedo on offense. Fabzo looking to cut things off, but it's bounced off the crossbar. Another opportunity now. Sai round the corner, but it's going to drift onto the floor, and it's another overtime.
Another overtime in Game 5, and what a Game 5 it has been. What a series it has been to kick off the stream. And there's a lot on the table for these teams, obviously this being the lower bracket final. The winner of the series will go to play Pesto Genoa. And there's a lot on the table, and you can see these teams are desperately fighting for it. You can see this means a lot to them as neither team have given up just yet. We've seen both teams at highs and lows in this series so far. We are seeing Dr. Boomin maybe take a bit more of the possession in this overtime. Yotam is just going to hit that over one. Sai looking to maybe just control the ball. He gets 100 boost there, but he is going to be challenged by Neoquan. And we're seeing a different Dr. Boomin in this overtime. So that's going to be a shot on net. A bit of a double commit from the two defenders from Roblox, but it isn't going to be quite punishing yet.
That doink might be punishing from Sai, though. Went into a good place, I think, for the option to be continued, and actually off the corner, it might be even better. Sai looking for a second touch, but Neoquan's already on that backboard waiting, and again, it's the control. Oh dear, the control game, which might be winning it out for the defending teams here. That one almost trickling in, but Yotam apparently able to get back just in time to deflect that one.
Yeah, Roblox are looking like they're cornered at the moment. Not much they can do as Dr. Boomin have come in swinging into this overtime as they are trying desperately to put this in the back of the Roblox net. Maybe an opportunity for Roblox now as we see Neoquan pass over to Jacob. It's going to go in front of the blue net. Sai is going to be there to clean up that mistake from the Dr. Boomin side. Maybe start a counter attack. A nice musty flick, but Neoquan is going to be there just to deny anything that comes from it. And we're seeing a very, very even-paced game, but the demo's going to go out for Dr. Boomin. Not a lot they can do. Only 2 men on the field, but it is almost going to go into the top left corner. And Roblox are looking like they're trying to desperately get out of their corner.
And I think if there was a time for counter-attack, it would have been then. Dr. Boomin, I'm sure, caught a little off guard by the fact they didn't score there, and may have taken a little longer to recover. But double commits like that are going to put Roehampton Black on the back foot once again. This ball bouncing off the back, but it's a nice clear from Neocon, but Zedo should pick this up quite nicely and going to use all that time, picking up boost first, turning around, going to try and get another 50, but they're a little awkward here. It's, oh dear, a combination of Giratab and Jacob working out to a net negative effect there.
We have seen quite a bit of double commits from Roblox in this overtime as well as this series, but haven't been too punishing, and Dr. Boomin should really be taking the opportunity to punish those mistakes of his double commits, leaving Roblox in a worse off situation. But the ball is going to be in their corner now. Jacob looking for a touch. It's going to go over. It might be an open net, but no, Sai's going to get that clear.
No, the thing is there's always a third player just outside of the camera shot, and you never know they're there until it's just barely too late, really.
Yeah, having Sai there, that if Sai wasn't back in time, Roblox would have easily been on top of this overtime. As we go into 3 minutes of overtime now, Jacob just being a menace there in front of the net, getting the bumps out, making sure Dr. Boomin are feeling the pressure, but Dr. Boomin aren't looking quite too under pressure yet, as they're putting a lot of pressure onto the Roblox goal at the moment. Now Yotam maybe looking for the pass over to Jacob, but it's just going to go into the corner. Jacob now with an opportunity puts that onto the backboard of the net, but Zedo with perfect defense there, making sure that isn't going to be the case. And we're not really seeing a lot happen from Roblox. This might be their opportunity. The bump's going to go out, and the pinch onto the floor almost goes into the net, but it's going to be a little bit too wide.
And now over the 4-minute mark as well, it's fair to say the hands will be starting to cramp for some of these players. This bounce down could be exactly what Hampton Black need. It's off the post and to the side, where Zedo is going to try and do his best to buy Dr. Boomin some time, an opportunity to rest those fingers for a second so they can go again on offense. Yeah,
4 minutes and 30 seconds into overtime. Yeah, there is going to be some hand cramp there, as is a bit of a miscommunication from Roblox. 2 are going to go. Dr. Boomin are going to close out this overtime with a bit of a shot that you weren't really expecting. Obviously, Zedo hits that off of the crossbar. It's going to bounce off of the post, and I don't think Roblox were going to be reading that.
No, I do think it felt like very bunched defense from Roehampton Black. There was more they could have done in a macro sense to try and prevent the play getting to that point. I also think maybe a bit of extra pace on that offense could have seen them secure that overtime around 30 seconds ago, but they're going to have to line this bed they've made. They only need 2 consecutive games. It was looking a lot worse for Dr. Boomin before, when they had to clutch up. And Roehampton Black clearly showing that they had the potential in this overtime, but just not quite capitalizing on it, I think.
Yeah, definitely that is the case. Now, obviously, 2 consecutive wins. It's going to be tough against a team like Dr. Boomin. However, Roblox have put up a really good fight so far. Obviously, losing out in that overtime. A bit of a double commit there, a bit of miscommunication on the goal line. They're going to be kicking themselves for that. It was a very even game, 15 shots from Dr. Boomin and 7 from Roehampton Black. Very even game. Dr. Boomin did seem to have the upper hand, especially in that overtime, like we saw. The 4 saves coming out from Roehampton Black, meaning that they had to kind of do everything in their power to keep Dr. Boomin out of the back of their net. That's not going to exactly work to their favour, as they are going to lose that game, and Dr. Boomin are up in the series. And they might just have an opportunity to come back. Roehampton Black, obviously, going into this game as the underdog, to just the sort of predictions from the prediction desk we didn't believe that they would do as well as they've done so far. But they can definitely pat themselves on the back. They've done a brilliant job, but that's going to go in the back of the net, and Dr. Boomin are just better of the 2 teams at the moment.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe a Roblox comeback is not so much on the line a second game in a row. Recovering that 3-goal deficit was so impressive in of itself. They weren't able to convert last time, and I think that will have to be playing on the back of their mind, especially after such a long, grueling overtime.
Yeah, definitely. That overtime obviously going to put a bit of a morale boost in Dr. Boomin, obviously scoring that final goal. And we're seeing a total different Dr. Boomin as we're seeing them take a lot of aggression now. Another shot on net, and your Roblat looking like the fatigue is getting to them. And it's going to be a tough one for them to come back from.
That it will. Yeah, I I'm beginning to feel a lot of sympathy for Black here. They've tried very, very hard in this series to make it happen, but ultimately it's going to fall short, I think, if they're not careful.
Yeah, definitely going to fall a little bit short. And we're seeing Dr. Boomin with another chance to maybe score with Yotam taking his time. 100 boost in the tank, going over to Neoquam. He's going to put that on net, but Fabzo sitting there comfortably is going to save that, no bother at all. And a bit of a mistouch there from, I believe that was Sai in the net. We're seeing Roblox, they're not really capitalizing on the mistakes Dr. Boomin are making. They're kind of looking like they've lost their confidence a little bit. Especially in the first game, they looked very, very confident, and the third game as well. We're seeing them a bit more passive with the playstyle that they're playing right now.
We'll see if we can see a bit more aggression from this Roblox side. It worked so well from last game. They just need to find that confidence once again. But when Yotam and Neoquan are double committing like that, I feel like the offense just can't stick in quite the right way. Neoquan, though, with a drop-down shot, is deflected once again by Sai. Really nothing, it seems like. Looking great for this Dr. Boomin defense when they're feeling on point. Yotam, though, looking to prove me wrong, dropping that ball into the box. But yet again, it's turned away and handily so. Dr. Boomin doing so well at these defensive transitions.
Yeah, Dr. Boomin looking like an incredible team at the moment, and we're seeing Roblox not able to put up a lot in this game, as we're seeing a nice little pass over to Sai there. Jacob is going to just get the touch there. It's a bit awkward. Yotam is going to have to come in to make another touch there. We're seeing Neoquan who's up in the air getting another touch. Looking for the 50. He's going to get it. Sai's going to stick on that ball over Jacob, and Yotam looking to just put that across his net, and that is going to be dangerous, but it isn't going to exactly go punished yet. We're seeing Dr. Boomin taking a step back. They're going to regain, get some more boost, just take another shot at the net. But Yotam is going to put that on target. Nothing's going to come from it. Now Sai with an opportunity. The flick is going to go over to Zedo with an opportunity to put it on target. It's going to be saved by Yotam. And we're seeing Roblox just kind of put up all the defensive plays, but ultimately they're going to have to play a bit more offensively as they are 2 goals down.
Yeah, and only 2 minutes on the clock as well as Zedo launches another shot towards net. Fabzo flicking this one outside, looking for the continuation as well, but ultimately don't need a goal. I think they're quite happy playing the ball side to side of Dr. Boomin. As Zedo trips up another one, Neoquan misses on the ball, and that's a 3rd goal. We saw Black turn it around in 70 seconds last game. They have 105 here, but honestly, Lightning shouldn't be striking twice in the same place and not against a team this good.
Yeah, no, it's kind of looking like Dr. Boomin have this series wrapped up with, but they did, like you mentioned, come back with 70 seconds, obviously having a bit more time on the clock now. Anything is possible, but that is going to be another shot on net, and that is going to kind of crush all hopes for Roblox to kind of come back from this.
Yeah, the amount of pressure, I think, on their backs now is just going to be too much for them to handle. I think maybe if they feel like it's already gone, they feel like the pressure's dropped, maybe they go for some slightly riskier plays. Maybe they can bring this into a position where it feels winnable. But with that kickoff going into the way of Dr. Boomin, a possession well won, I think, it's starting to look less and less likely. They need to be getting some fast goals. Some pot shots like that would be effective, but they have to be on target from players like Neoquan.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to have to see Roblox pick up the pace a little bit here if they do want to stay in the series. But it's looking like maybe Dr. Boomin might just run away with this. Obviously, 4 goals up with a minute remaining on the clock. Not much that Roblox can actually do. But Neoquan, a nice flick. He's going to try to put that on target. But Zedo, an easy save there. Now maybe for the counter. And a lot of times that could have been very, very dangerous as the 3rd man wasn't quite back. We've seen that from Roblox in this series quite a bit. The 3rd man maybe pushing a little bit too much and leaving his team and his goal vulnerable.
It's a pitfall of many a team. We'll have to see if maybe there's an opportunity to tidy it up just at the end here. Neoquan looking for the first shot. It would have been critical. A miss from Yotam is going to entirely throw off the Dr. Boomman defense, actually, and it's certainly not 70 seconds worth of time anymore. But Roehampton Black, I'm sure, happy to be on the board and with some time left on the clock to do something about this scoreline.
Yeah, one goal with 30 seconds left. It is, I don't want to say that they're completely out of it, but they would have to get another kickoff goal like that, and Jacob's going to score the second goal for Roe Black. With 29 seconds left, they are going to still need a miracle. Obviously, 2 goals down, but with kickoff goals like that, that's a bit of a really poor mistake from Dr. Boomin there, kind of just letting their guard down. But as we go into this kickoff, 29 seconds left on the clock, Roe Black are going to need a miracle if they want to stay in this series.
I think they might have gotten Fabso's on low boost. That's a flip reset from Yotam, but a massive save from Fabso to bail out his team. Neoquan dropping it into the box, but Sedo with a long clear is surely going to make things very difficult now for Hampton Black. Neoquan looking for the interruption play. It's in the air, a double commit from Roehampton. They're so desperate, they want this so badly, but Yotam, try as he might, cannot get that ball over the defense of Dr. Boomin. They will face Pesto Genoa in the grand final very shortly.
Great to 5-2 in the final game, and that has been an incredible series to watch. Obviously, Dr. Boomin didn't look like they were the team to win, especially after game number 1 where they lost, but then they came back brilliantly in game number 2. So we are going to see a lovely repeat of Pesto Genoa versus Dr. Boomin in the grand final, where Pesto Genoa are still very confident that they can take, the grand final. But Dr. Boomin are going to be, if there was one team to put up a fight against Pesto Genoa, it would be Dr. Boomin.
And yeah, Haider said it himself, and it was really nice to see Dr. Boomin build really nicely into that series over the course of it. I'm sure Zedo will have gained his confidence back from that defensive mishap all the way back in game number 3. Roehampton looked as though they could have had a couple more games there, but ultimately that fell through, and Dr. Boomin will be facing off against Pesto Genoa after this break. See you then.
Welcome to the Amazon University Esports Masters Finals!
It's a wonderful thing. I feel privileged about this situation because we were able to achieve something, and we are traveling the country, visiting the country, and playing the live final.
Our experience, I met a lot of new people that come from so many different places.
Just being with the team and having fun together and actually trying our best to win the competition.
For the first game of the Amazon University Esports Masters Final. And it's category 5 for Boomin Academy. An absolute hurricane unleashed onto AIX, and they cannot withstand the damage. Dr. Boomin Academy are your 2023 Amazon University Esports Masters champions. And it seems as if Amsterdam dips in Norway. Only going to take one shimmer on either side to crown this one, and Fabso may just have found it.
Congratulations on your win. As a team now, you get to claim your prize.
Still manages to get it deep. The objective has been wrong and second player, they're walking one by one into their graves. Wins Club finally, after a momentary pause.
And to all of you watching at home or wherever you might be, we are all grateful that Amazon University Esports Masters exists.
I don't wanna fall for you, oh no. But you make it so hard. Watching you dance all night, baby, is making me fall hard. Trying to take a deep breath, but I just can't control my lungs. Ooh. Trying to hide my cold sweat, but I just keep on talking in tongues. It's a funny situation that I got myself into. I can't help my own frustration, 'cause I think, yeah, I think I like it. I think I like it. Got nothing to lose, 'cause I think I like it. Tell me if you like me too. How can you move the way you do? It's making me crazy, yeah. You're moving just like you own the room. Make it look easy. I wanna take you away to somewhere we can be by ourselves. I see you looking my way, so maybe it's not all in my head. It's a funny situation that I got myself into. I can't help my own frustration, 'cause I think, yeah, I think I like it. I think I like it. Got nothing to lose, 'cause I think I like it. Tell me if you
Welcome back, everyone, to the University Esports Masters Rocket League bracket for spring 2024. I'm still Leah, I'm still joined by Alec, and we have our two grand finalists at long last.
Yeah, after a really, really entertaining lower bracket final with Dr. Boomin and Roll Black, we see Dr. Boomin face Pesto Genoa again in a rematch in the grand final. Obviously, Dr. Boomin losing to Pesto Genoa 4-2 in the upper final. It's going to be a very, very interesting grand final that we have for us today. Any thoughts about who's going to come out on top?
I am in two minds. I think Dr. Boone winning this series depends on them starting strong, as it has, I think, every time they've played Pesto Genoa. But this time they actually need to stick it out. And I think the quicker they can get this first series over with, better as they head into the potential bracket reset should they take this first series.
Yeah, now just going to briefly touch on what these teams are facing off for in University Esports Master. The big prize pool of 1,000 euros. Almost said pounds there, but 1,000 euros. Big prize pool for first place. It's a lot of money to be had for these university students. Obviously, second taking the 600 euros. And we've seen Roehampton Black, who are going to be third, taking the 300, and the fourth prize going to Leiden University. So a lot up for grabs for the two finalists.
That there is, and it's it's no small amount of money. I think you've got to keep that in mind. That's 350 euros per player on this Genoa team, and I'm sure some of them are perhaps used to winning a little more for Mario, yes, but it's also a game-changing amount of money, I think, especially for some of these Boomin players who, while they're on scholarship, will be getting those cheeky little extras by winning this tournament if they can do so.
Yeah, definitely a lot of money is to be had for these two teams. Now, a really, really good rematch that we're both looking incredibly excited towards. But just a quick reminder to follow all of the socials UE Masters, especially on Twitter, as well as we have that Swiss play of the game sort of Swiss live up right now, where teams can win those 25 euros. So there's even more money to be given out, which these teams are going to be itching for. We are just going to be getting underway very, very shortly.
We are, yeah, and it's almost weird to feel like we came from having only 16 teams from 13 different countries last week. We brought that down to 8 from 6, I think, yesterday morning. We've narrowed it down to the best 2 in Europe, and maybe it's the 2 teams we expected. Maybe you at home had some slightly different ideas, but I think we're going to be looking at a very close series when we get down to it.
Yeah, a really close series, hopefully. Obviously, Pesto Genoa, very, very confident in their ability against Dr. Boomin. But Dr. Boomin are the only team that they said could really put up a fight. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Obviously, Pesto Genoa, we spoke to Hyder yesterday, very confident. They've looked very confident throughout the entire tournament in the Swiss stage as well. So, very, very confident team. Dr. Boomin have had a mix of results. We didn't expect the Roehampton Black game that we just saw to go as close as it did. However, Dr. Boomin seem to have found their groove, found their step. They're looking to be a very, very tough opponent for Pesto Genoa.
The question I think that should still be on everyone's mind is how different is Pesto Genoa to Roehampton Black? How much adaptation will be required from this Dr. Boomin side? Pesto Genoa have had an opportunity to either sit down and watch that series or scrim an opponent that they know plays similarly in order to prepare themselves well for this series. Dr. Boomin had to play the opponent in front of them and now have to go into game 1 completely fresh, trying to feel out this Pesto Genoa side and try to remember what it is that worked for them so well in the early part of the series. And speaking of, we are back into this game. Playing in
Yeah, Dr. Boomin on the orange side, Pesto Genoa are going to be on the blue, kicking off the grand finale. A nice little rematch of the last time we saw them play in the tournament, where Pesto Genoa did obviously take the win against Dr. Boomin, sending them to the lower bracket. However, Dr. Boomin are no joke. They've looked very, very strong in the last couple of games that we've seen, but an opportunity for Hyder to pass to Arju with a shot. With 30 seconds gone from this game, PES to Genoa looking like they're starting off extremely strong.
And that is a goal. Out from RG, PES to Genoa already taking the lead here.
Yeah, a nice little pass from Hyder over to Arju. Zedo just can't quite make the save. And that's going to go in for PES to Genoa, the first goal of the grand final in favour of PES to Genoa. Now, coming from the prediction desk, we think PES to Genoa are the ones to take it. Dr. Boomin, of course, being a very good team nonetheless. However, PES to Genoa have just been on a different planet, a different playing field in this tournament. They've played extremely well against every single team. And I don't think that we're going to see them lose any sort of play style now. As RG with a nice little shot there from the pass. And this is the PES to Genoa that we love. A nice little pass there. PES to Genoa are 2 up.
And was it a minute and a half ago I said that if Dr. Boomin were going to have a real shot at winning the entire tournament, they needed to be getting quick off the mark in this season. They've achieved exactly the opposite of that, unless perhaps has something to say about it. Zedo tipping that one high side with the follow-up is not going to get contact with the ball, and so PES to Genoa will get away with that one. But they've not managed to get that pressure I was talking about, and I worry this is just going to be the look of this series now. Dr. Boomin have never been in a position where they're behind and won against PES to Genoa. They've always had a lead first and then lost it.
Yeah, Dr. Boomin looking a little bit under pressure now. Obviously, mentioning Dr. Boomin, they're going to have some real shot at this game. They're going to have to be scoring quick off the kickoffs like they've done with Roehampton Black last game. However, that shot could have been out to Sai. It's not going to result in anything though, as PES to Genoa are right back on the counter attack. That ball's going to go straight into the hands of Zed, but Fabzo is going to make sure that that isn't the case. Now RG looking for the pass over to Hyder, is going to get the pass. Hyder looking to maybe get that onto the backboard. It's not going to be the case, however. RG taking a nice soft touch, taking it slow over Fabzo. Fabzo's going to set that ball high perfectly for Zedo to get to that ball. Seeing Dr. Boomin with a real chance now, as PES to Genoa are really backed up into their corner, but they're going to be immediately on that counter attack. I think that's what PES to Genoa are really good at. They're great at regaining and great at getting straight back on the ball.
Trying to stop from getting straight back on the ball, though, are Dr. Boomin having a few difficulties getting out to their own half here. Arju making it look easy, though. Currently signed 2 endpoints and doing remarkably well in the RLCS. Dead Monster, also a pretty strong player in his own right, looking to go straight for the goal there, but Fabzo is going to be the one to clear this out towards the midfield. Cut off by Hyder, another player incredibly strong on this PES to Genoa side, is going to tee up Dead Monster, and it feels like the ball is just being hit around the pitch just a bit, the time being wasted away. PES to Genoa know they don't need to do any more, and they won't do any more unless they're absolutely forced to, because they know Dr. Boomin can come back very quickly on the counter-attack. Arju, though, presented an opportunity, seizes it, secures a 3rd goal for PES to Genoa, doing exactly what's asked of him.
Arju with the hat-trick is going to flip reset over Zedo, and that's going to slot the 3rd goal of the game into the Dr. Boomin net. We haven't seen Dr. Boomin with the opportunity yet to even get quite close to PES to Genoa's net. We've seen maybe once or twice that they've kind of come into the blue half, but nothing has resulted from it. PES to Genoa have seemed to run away with this game. Maybe that's just because they've had a time to kind of look at Dr. Boomin playing and kind of come up with some sort of strategy. But whatever they're doing seems to be working as we go into the final 1 minute 20 seconds, where PES to Genoa don't really, seem to be backing off. They don't really seem to be giving Dr. Boomin any sort of opportunity.
And it's just a very nice position to be in as well, because it takes the pressure. That's almost a 4th there of the Italian side as well. They can just sort of chill a bit, as Hyder does indeed put a 4th one in there. Dr. Boomin needing to be very respectful, but as a consequence of it, not getting an awful lot of offense, it feels like.
Hyder securing the 4th goal of the game. It looks like he's keeping up to his promise from yesterday, looking very, very confident against his Dr. Boomin team. And I don't think that this game has really been a true sort of it's not really been a show of what Dr. Boomin are capable of. So Pesto Genoa have been really in control, not really let Dr. Boomin do much, but there's maybe going to be a shot. Ardu is just going to clear that ball away. Dr. Boomin haven't really, had the opportunity to showcase what they're capable of. We've seen it in the games with Roehampton Black, we've seen it in the tournament and the Swiss stages, hence why they got here in the first place. However, Pesto Genoa just seem to be running circles all over them at the moment.
Yeah, and it has to be said as well, I think, the Italian Rocket Series has been around for many seasons at this point, is part of the reason, in my opinion, why the Italian scene has so many strong players like Dead, who's just demonstrating the mechanical ability of some of these players is helped out by Hyder. These players have played with each other for years at this point. They know what each other's like. They won't be needing to basically commentate exactly what they're doing at all times to their teammates. They can have a feel for each other. Whereas this German side of Dr. Boomin have not been playing together quite so much. European leagues have not been quite so consistent in Germany, I feel, and so these players, while they played together a lot, will not be quite at the same level.
Yeah, no, still very, very high level Rocket League though.
It is, but they need to start switching it up, and they need to be feeling more confident, like Hyder said, really, in their ability, if they're going to take down Pesto Genoa, who is so well drilled.
Yeah, Pesto Genoa easily taking that game 5 goals to nothing to Dr. Boomin. It's going to be a very, very upset for Dr. Boomin coming off of a very strong lower bracket game that they just played. Pesto Genoa, they're definitely looking like the stronger team. Dr. Boomin haven't really been able to showcase what they're able to do quite just yet. The 9 shots coming from Pesto Genoa compared to the 2 that I've seen from Dr. Boomin. So, yeah, the game is looking like it is Pesto Genoa's favour. The series could just be wrapped up in a sweep if it continues to go on the same way as game number 1. But we know Dr. Boomin are a very, very strong team. They are going to put up somewhat of a fight.
They are, yeah. It's a shame we didn't get to see them score or get any sort of consolation at the end there, because I feel like they had so much momentum at the end of that last series and surely had the potential to continue it, and it seems that Pesto Genoa's change in pace has maybe caught them off quite a bit. First 10 seconds have gone without disaster, I want to say, as Hyder dunks that ball in the region of the net, just not quite into it.
Yeah, so nothing really coming from that in the first 30 seconds of the game. However, we are maybe seeing Dr. Boomin with a bit of an attack opportunity. Zedo's going to try to put that on net. Ardu with a nice little save there. We're seeing a bit of a different Dr. Boomin now. They're kind of taking a bit more of an aggressive stance, but this could be deadly for Zed as he goes over Zedo. But Zedo, nice little save now. Ardu maybe looking for the pass out to mid. Dead's there, but Fabzo with a bit of an awkward save is just going to pinch it off of the post, and that ball's going to be cleared right into the hands of Ardu. He's going to send that high for Hyder, looking for a shot. It's going to bounce off of the ceiling, go down the shot from Ardu. Dead still on the ball, looking for Hyder now. He's going to rotate back around, take his time, get the flip, looking for a teammate in the middle. It's kind of looking like nothing's going to come from that side. He's just going to use his flip reset to kind of deal with the threat.
I was worried Dead might not have been equipped to deal with that threat though, but a lot of boost in the tank was able to deal with Sai just kind of pre-flipping towards that ball on low boost once they committed to that flip. There really wasn't much changing of the direction there, and it was well read and well handled to get Pesto Genoa back onto this very threatening offense. Arju looking menacing, hanging around that box.
Yeah, looking menacing indeed, but Dr. Boomin are looking like a bit more of the aggressors this game. They are putting a bit of an attack on right now. Zedo maybe looking for a touch there, but Hyder is going to get it instead. Sai, not a lot of boost in the tank, just going to pass that over to his teammate there. Now Dead up to Hyder looking like, but Zedo, he's already up. No point for Hyder jumping just yet. He's going to take his time, look for another touch, but Sai is already there looking for another. He's going to get it, and the save is going to come from Dead. But Zedo looking to put that on target. It isn't quite going to be the case. We're going to see 2 demos go off. This is still a scoreless game, but Arju looking at an open net. Sai isn't going to be able to get there in time, and Arju making that scoreless game now 1-0 in favour of Pesto Genoa.
Yeah, Sai just being chased off by Dead as well. That double demo in the midfield I'm not entirely sure what either player expected, but it generated so much space. One player is going to spawn on the back line for Dr. Boom, and that much was clear, but knowing exactly where it was going to be and how much time the attacking side of Petagino was going to have was entirely an open question.
Yeah, definitely. Now going into the 2 minutes 30 mark of this game, the first half has looked pretty even so far. Obviously, Pestaginoa being able to score that first goal is going to be on the upper hand, but Zed looking maybe uses flip reset. He's going to be instantly challenged by Hyder. He's going to shut that challenge down. RG with a nice soft touch, looking to get a bit of a dunk here. He is going to get it. Have to pick up the 100 boost at the side. It isn't going to spawn in time. He's left without a bit of boost. Going to have to rotate back. Fabzo maybe with an opportunity, but Hyder, plenty of boost in the tank, is going to be able to take that threat down. With a minute 50 left on the clock, Dr. Boomin are looking like they're getting a little bit pummeled at the moment.
And that pummeling might continue here. Dead just beaten out by Fabzo there, but it's another shot on target from Arju, blocked out by Sai on little boost. of resources being stretched so thin right now, and Dead able to get that touch off the top of Sai's car makes things so much difficult. Again, a weak touch from Zedo setting up. Dead is barely off the post. Dr. Boomin looking so much worse for wear. I want to say they've stabilised it. They're not conceding 5 goals this game, I don't think, but they really need to start taking these games because the series is becoming shorter and shorter.
Yeah, they're looking a lot more confident. Obviously, 5 goals being scored in the first game. Dead just narrowly missing that there to make this a 2-goal lead. However, Dr. Boomin are kind of picking up the pace a bit. They've definitely changed up from the first game, letting 5 goals in compared to this one. But with a minute left, they're going to have to do something. Silent for the double. He doesn't have quite enough boost to reach it. We'll go for the bump instead, but ultimately Hyder's already on the ball. The mess is going to happen there. Hyder with the pass them to Arju is going to play that slow, and that's going to be the second goal for Pesto Genoa. It's going to tie this, not going to tie the series, it's going to bring the series to 2.
Yeah, and it is 50 seconds. We can't entirely count Dr. Boomin out. It's just their offense hasn't been very potent, unlike against Roehampton Esports Black. They really haven't been getting the ball tantalisingly close to the goal, looking as though they might score. We've not seen them have many opportunities for infield passes. I scarcely remember times they've gone for them, honestly. Meanwhile, Pesto Genoa feels like they've had a massive variety of scoring opportunities, really using their whole arsenal to ensure they're holding these leads and also keeping Dr. Boomin to nothing at the same time.
Yeah, Dr. Boomin haven't really been given much of an opportunity, as Pesto Genoa have just been all over the ball. They have looked a lot better than the first game in the second game, but ultimately nothing has really come from it at the end of the day. As we go into the final 10 seconds of game number 2, Pesto Genoa are looking to take game 2 and bring them to 2 in the series, and that's another shot on net with Sai with a save, maybe a consolation goal for them here, but the ball is going to hit the floor, and Pesto Genoa are going to come out on top.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at some of those plays there. Zedo was doing well to get the pass up to midfield, and then Fabzo and Sai both thought they had that ball dead to rights. Both went up right in front of it. They made it work to avoid conceding yet another goal, but we can see they've got 3 shots this game compared to 11. That's not even like a reasonably close amount of shot difference. That's utter decimation.
Yeah, that game was completely in Pesto Genoa's in their control there. Obviously, the 11 shot. They had to make 2 saves compared to the 7 saves from Dr. Boomin. Which, yeah, that was complete decimation, like you've said, from Pesto Genoa. They're just completely in control. Hyder mentioned that Dr. Boomin was going to be the only team that could really put up a fight, but at the minute, it's not really looking like the case as we go into game number 3. Pesto Genoa 2 up in the series.
And it looks like they might be trying to force very quickly a goal in this game. It would be their 3rd. The ball still bouncing around the orange box, but it's going to get cleared away. Arju hopefully going to be the one to meet this. Zedo going to play it to the post to allow Dr. Boom to continue this offense side. Running interruption, keeping Pesto Genoa distracted while his teammates get into position, but this ball is just bouncing from left, right, and that bump on the side. Surely the death knell of this offense.
Yeah, nothing's going to come from that deadly attempt at the start of the match, but that doesn't mean that Pesto Genoa are giving up quite yet. They seem very, very aggressive so far, but Simon with an opportunity is just going to be blocked up by Zed. Now Fabzo might look out for a pass, but Hyder is going to be faked, and Fabzo maybe has a chance, but it isn't going to really result to much. We have Zed and Arju in the corner now looking to start the counter. Sai with the 50 is just not going to work out in his favour. However, Zedo able to take his time, but a missed touch there could be huge if that's going to send the ball in front of the net. We're seeing Dr. Boomin now playing a bit safer. They're playing very, very safe. They're going to have to give the respect to Pesto Genoa, obviously having the two game lead in the series. But they are going to have to play very aggressively. They are going to have to play very offensively. They're going to have to up the offense, kind of get off of the back horse a bit. They're playing very passively.
Still goalless though. This was a improvement, I think, from the perspective of Dr. Boomin compared to previous showings against Pesto Genoa. That's, keep in mind they've lost the last, I think, 5 games consecutively. Pesto Genoa, including the series yesterday, and I think a game here would mean a lot by way of changing momentum. They're of course going to need to take 4 from the next 5 if they're to take this series, but there will, of course, be other opportunities, you'd think, these sides to play each other and show who's got the best opportunities.
Hyder looking very dangerous in this corner. It's not going to result to much, but Arju setting the ball up high. He's going to jump for that again over Zedo. And we have Zed on the ball, not able to really do anything with it as we go into the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. Nothing's come yet, but that's a shot on target from Fabzo with a well-needed save to keep that goal out. Maybe start a bit of a counter-attack here, but with a low boost in the tank for Sai, it's going to have to mean that he's going to have to rotate back. It's going to give Pesto Genoa a bit of time to kind of think what to do next as they see Zed on the ball. Not quite getting the touch that he wants. Hyder's going to go straight over Zedo. Kind of just doesn't get the read. Arju with the pass out to his teammate, but Sai's going to intercept. And we're seeing Dr. Boomin with a bit more progression from the last games, keeping the game at a tie, scoreless right now. We are going to see a very aggressive Pesto Genoa pick up the pace soon.
Will they be allowed to pick up the pace? So Arju's going to pinch that out, but it feels like it's just gone very high. Hyder and the whole of Pesto Genoa really making a lot of use of that sidewall, but not much forward motion on this ball for a lot of boost expended. Pesto Genoa have finally broken through though, as Zedo just shuts down the play entirely there. And it feels like that's what a lot of this game has been about, is just playing keep away. And that ball is being kept away from Dr. Boomin now. Bed Monster on offense. Beats out first. Arju off the backboard. Is Hyder there? He is. It's a shot down. It's speedy, but a massive save from Fabzo to ensure Dr. Boomin don't go down for another game.
Yeah, nice opportunity for Pesto Genoa there. And Zed's going to put that on target. Hyder is going to be the one to secure it, however. That's going to put Pesto Genoa up. A nice little play from Zed there. Taking this game very, very slow. And Hyder is just going to be there to secure that goal. Hitting Pesto Genoa 1 up, 1 minute 12. Dr. Boomin aren't quite out yet.
Yeah, I think Sai just needed to charge that ball down. His teammate behind him had the net covered, or at least a solid portion of it, I think. And that's just a second one. And yet again, Dr. Boomin, it only takes one, and they fall to pieces.
A nice play
Really
from
not having
Arju.
the best of times.
A nice play from Arju there over to Hyder. They're not having the best of time whatsoever, this Dr. Boomin team. They just kind of seem like they're falling apart at the moment. Pesto Genoa being a very, very aggressive team, being completely in control. Pesto Genoa looking a bit vulnerable here in front of their net as we go into the final minute remaining. They're not out yet, Dr. Boomin, however. Maybe the shot from Fabzo, it's not going to go in. Sai maybe looking to get another touch there. He isn't going to quite get it. And Pesto Genoa are looking like they're going to be 3 up in the series. Arju with a shot, and that is going to be 3 up in the game as well as the series. A nice little pass from Hyder over to Dead. A brilliant team play. Arju just slots that into the goal over Fabzo. And Pesto Genoa swinging.
Now, as unlikely as it sounds, Dr. Boomin have had a lead at some point in every series they've played against Pesto Genoa. And of course, if that trend were to continue, we'd either need to score 4 goals in the remaining time of this game, which I don't think is the likelier of the 2 outcomes, or they need to reverse sweep this series. It's a feat that Pesto Genoa achieved against them last winter. Of course, the question remains if Dr. Boomin have it in them to do the same in revenge.
Yeah, as we go into the final 15 seconds, it doesn't look like that trend is going to continue, but we are maybe going to see a passing play over to Sai now, but Zed looking pretty comfortable on that wall, able to clear it. Pesto Genoa are definitely looking like a very, very well-composed team. They're looking like the better of the two. Trying to take another consolation goal, but that is going to maybe go in. It's going to hit the floor, however. Pesto Genoa take game number 3.
They are poised to take that extra 450 euros between the three of them, over £1,000 worth of prizing if they can take one more game in this series.
Yeah, £1,000 going into the pockets of Pesto Genoa if they take one more series, like one more game in the series, like you've said. And that game was nowhere near as close as what the first was. Completely utter decimation from Pesto Genoa. The 12 shots there for Pesto Genoa compared to the 3 from Dr. Boomin. It's a very, very hard game for Dr. Boomin. They haven't been able to kind of find their pacing quite yet. They've been punished for every single mistake they've made. And Pesto Genoa just seem to be on a different playing field.
Yeah, we talk about some sports like golf and snooker and pool as you only play with your own ball. Rocket League's not meant to be like that, but often at times it feels like Pesto Genoa are always the ones in control. Dr. Boomin have a brief spell in the ball, but they're playing it back into Pesto Genoa's domain. They know how to deal with their pressure, and it's just been summed up for me in the notes. That's 10 goals unanswered, 15 minutes of playtime without a goal for Dr. Boomin. And they're going to need, I think, secure something quickly here. As I said, they would have needed to at the start of the series if they were to have a real chance in it. And Sai could be the one to deliver here. 15 minutes of pain, but perhaps a chance, that gold title still gleaming.
A nice kickoff goal for Sai there is going to stop that 50 minutes of gameplay without a score from Boomin. However, Pesto aren't going to give up that easily. You know, it is just one kickoff goal, very easy to come back from. Sai's looking to put that one out to Fabzo, a good little 50 from RG, a bit of a double commit from RG and Hydra there. He's not really going to be punished, however. Zedo up the 100 boost, looking to take this all the way, maybe get a ground pinch with that, is going to be able to get the 50 and continue off of the sidewall, leave it for his teammate Sai. It's already up now. Zedo, they look for another pass over to Sai. Hydra looking like he's going to start the counter-attack for Pesto Genoa, but Dr. Boomin have definitely come out swinging in the first half of this game.
And it feels quite weird after some of the series we've had this weekend to be saying, oh, game 4 and it's almost over if Pesto Genoa take this. It feels like the vast majority of our series have gone on much longer than that. Dr. Boomin doing everything they can to try to disagree with me, though, as they're back on offense once again here. Hyder, though, with a long clear, potentially setting up Arju, if not for Fabzo, getting a nice little tap into the corner, and setting up Sai as well. This ball going long, bouncing down, but cleared away. Pesto Genoa is showing they have still got the class they showed in that first 3 games, and who would doubt it, frankly.
RG looking a bit dangerous in that goal there, but he isn't going to do much with it. Dead with the 50. Maybe going to be able to continue on that ball, but Sai with perfect positioning is just going to block that opportunity. Dead takes the 100 boost. He's going to pass that over to Arju. Put that on net. Arju can't make another touch, and Pesto Genoa are looking very dangerous in this box. Arju is going to fall, however, and Dead is left to pick up the pieces. Takes the 100 boost and regains, but Fabzo with a shot. It's going to go wide, and that could have been the goal that Dr. Boomin needed to really run away with this series. It's giving Pesto Genoa a chance to maybe get back onto the goal. And they're not going to do much with it. Zed can't quite make anything out of this. Hyder, the pressure is still there from Pesto Genoa, but nothing seems to be coming out of it.
Yeah, I did actually respect, I think it was Dead, got the ball in the air, played it to the backboard, and then tried to catch it as it was on its way down to try and bait the first defender out initially, and then go in for a second time afterwards with the reduced capacity to deal with a shot from that Boomin defense. Didn't work out, but showing they've got creativity and they're not going to allow themselves to be shut out of the game in the way that Dr. Boomin were for the last 3.
Yeah, definitely. Dr. Boomin are looking like a very, very strong team at the minute. However, Pesto Genoa are looking like they might just be coming back from this dead. He's up on that ball, but not a lot of boost in the tank to really work with. Go into the final 2 minutes of the game. We're seeing Pestagino put up a lot of pressure. Nothing's come from it yet. However, that pressure being there is definitely throwing Dr. Boomin off. They're having to scramble back for boost and back into their goal. The defense from Dr. Boomin has just been incredible. Obviously, having to make all those saves in the previous 3 games. They've got that warm-up and they've got the ability to make the saves that really matter in the game. And they're looking very offensive as well. That may be going over Arju. It's not going to be the case. He gets to just sit comfortably, dribble the ball, try to get a flick over one. That's not going to result too much. As we go into the final 1 minute 30, Dr. Boomin are up and might just be in to take a game in the series.
Let's not count chickens before they hatch. They're not ours, they're firmly Dr. Boomin's, although it has to be said, to end the tournament on a sweep would feel like an understatement here. Dead, though, looks keen to end it as soon as possible, though. 77 seconds and a goal to divide Pesto Genoa from the title.
Yeah, nice goal there for Dead. Pass over from Hyder. This could be an overtime. We still have a minute 17, but with the first goal from Pesto Genoa, we're going to see them kind of get into the swing of things. Once they get their first goal, they've been really, really quick to get another. So we go into the final minute, we're going to see Dr. Boomin play a really good defensive game. A nice little shot from side, though. That's going to put them up with a 1-goal deficit. And that is a huge, huge goal there.
That is big, yeah. The thing is, I can never be sure it's fine until actually it's in with Pesto Genoa. As soon as they get a lead, I feel like they're very firmly in control of the series. But with Dr. Boomin, it's almost like Pesto Genoa have to make a mistake in order for the goal to go in, which I feel like is an understatement. It's a game where you start with an equal footing. One side has to make a mistake for the ball to go in. But ultimately, Pesto Genoa are making much fewer mistakes. And when they do, that's what's allowing Dr. Boomin to get the goal, as opposed to what we would perceive to be an outplay.
Yeah, that definitely is the case to some extent. We have seen Dr. Boomin capitalise on those mistakes. Almost a mistake from Dr. Boomin themselves, though, as that almost goes in. Bit of a double commit from Arju and Zed. Their Hyder with a shot. It's going to go crossbar down. And that's going to be the equaliser for Pesto Genoa. They're going to be the ones capitalising on Dr. Boomin's mistakes instead. So that's going to go over 2 defenders there. Zedo can't do anything. So that goes crossbar down. 26 seconds left in this game.
Yeah, 26 seconds potentially for Boomin to try and save the series. Perhaps a little less time with where the ball is at for Pesto Genoa to try to finish off the series as Hyder's shot goes wide, but they're keeping it in the mixer. Arju hits this one up to the backward side with boost, but under pressure from Dead, and surely Hyder in not very long as he flicks the ball along the sidewall, playing it slow now. Dead scrambling backwards. Arju getting a touch. Fabzo there, but can't make contact for Hyder. And this ball, I think, will hit the floor as we go to another overtime.
Overtime in game number 4. Pesto Genoa just need to take this overtime to take the series, but Dr. Boomin stands in their way as they've been able to put up a very, very good game 4. However, Pesto Genoa taking the most frequent, the most recent goal of this game. You know, they're going to put them on a bit of a pedestal. They're going to be in a very, very good morale, very good hopes as that demo's going to go out onto 1, but Zed going to be able just send that ball flying side with plenty of boost in the tank to work with. Gonna get the flip reset over Dead. Bit of a double commit in the goal there. It's gonna leave the bottom corner wide open for Dr. Boomin, and that's gonna deny the sweep for Pesto Genoa.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Is this the beginning of the reverse sweep I alluded to before? We have another 15 minutes of gameplay for sure if that's to happen. And it has to be said, again, it was a mistake, but this time Pesto Genoa really seemed to let the pressure get to them. Arju and I think Dead having a disagreement about whose was the boost in the corner. Both end up going for it. Nobody gets the ball. It goes over both their heads, and then Arju makes a slightly dodgy touch, which puts Hyder completely out of play.
Yeah, definitely. We did not expect Dortmund to take that game whatsoever, but they did play brilliantly when they needed to. Obviously, they let that last goal in, which took them to overtime, which kind of set them off a little bit. They were a bit wobbly at the start of overtime, but they're able to secure the goal that they need nonetheless. They get the first game in the series. Might set them off on the right foot. They might be able to come back, but it is going to be a very, very rough road for them to climb. Obviously, Dr. Boomin having 6 shots in that game compared to PSG Genoa's 8 was a bit more of an even game, compared to the 10 shots to, or the 12 shots to 3 that we saw in the final game. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very hard comeback for Dr. Boomin. However, they've won the first game, won their first game of the series, so anything's possible, but PSG Genoa are looking very strong.
And they're back on offense here, looking to right that wrong. As soon as they've made it, Haider piling it in, but this ball has gone long, and Fabio might be in a position to receive and deliver it to one of his teammates. Not to be, it seems. Arju, the one to deliver it up to Haider, to himself, to dead. But Fabs are going to clear it long as well. Both teams, some early team play. Sai looking to finish the job off, but not enough boost in the tank, apparently.
Yeah, nothing's going to come from any early play in the first minute. It seems that Fabio's still on that ball. Dead is just going to clear that high. Arju is going to get a bit of an awkward touch. 15 nonetheless. Sai going to try to put that on target, but Haider with a nice little save. Start the counter-attack for PSG Genoa. And we're seeing just a very, very even-paced sort of game. They're still feeling each other out in this game. And I think PSG Genoa are starting to give Dr. Boomin a bit more respect. They were kind of running away with the first 3 games of the series. But as Dr. Boomin have just taken that, they've given a bit more respect, but they've also given an opportunity to take the series as Arju is going to kick us off with the first goal of the game.
And it's just a timing problem there, it seems, for Dr. Boomin. I heard a demo go off. I'm not sure if that massively affected things, but it seems like the last player back was still there, almost on time. It was just a fairly well-positioned shot at good space from RG.
Yeah, very well-positioned shot, which is going to put PSG Genoa 1 up. Dead now with an opportunity. Flick over all of the defenders from Dr. Boomin, and that is going to put PSG Genoa up to 2. Bit of a miscommunication there, obviously. Zed getting beat by Sai, and Dead with a nice little flick. It's incredible flick there. It's going to put PSG Genoa up 2 in game number 5.
So with a touch to the side now, looking to get Boomin back onto offense, and Zedo is there. It's a tap to the left-hand side. Dead can scramble to that ball as much as he likes, but it's not going through that post. And it will ultimately fall into the goal. Back to just a 1-goal gap between these two sides now.
Yeah, Zero not quitting just yet. Dr. Boomin still putting up a very good fight. 1-goal deficit with 3 minutes left. It's anyone's game, but PSG Genoa are looking extremely strong. Zero looking maybe for the pass off the side. The pass is there. Maybe looking for the double. He's not going to quite get it, but Fabzo with the shot is going to be the equalizer. A brilliant team play from Dr. Boomin there. Sai off of the backboard, and Fabzo able to just dunk that past Arju and Haider.
And it's all tied now once again at 2-2. As quickly as we... Well, I certainly was beginning to write the series off. I thought, oh, it's another PSG Genoa 2-goal lead. Buna are probably not going to get back into this. They have. We have seen games where teams have made impressive comebacks and lost in the end. But Dr. Boomin, the longer this series goes on, the less I'm sure that's going to be the case. PSG Genoa, I think, in unfamiliar territory to have been so far up.
Yeah, PSG Genoa definitely now having to give Dr. Boomin the respect they deserve, as that's going to be another shot on target, and that is going to bring Dr. Boomin up in the series. They're going to take the lead. A nice little pass from Fabzo over to Zedo, who's going to slot that into the goal. Dead with no boost. Not going to be able to get back to it. It's looking like Dr. Boomin might just have found their groove, and they're still hanging on.
I don't even want to just call it a groove at this point. It feels like an entire change-up in how they're approaching the game almost. They're being way more aggressive, way more risky. It's the same adjustment I think we saw at Hampton Esports Black making Game 5 of the previous series, to try and bring themselves back into it. And as soon as I say that, Argy's going to slam one home, but I think Dr. Boomin realizing that they have to come out of their shells a bit.
Yeah, Pastor Genoa able to bring another goal to the scoreboard, and they are going to tie the game with 2 minutes 18 left. This is a very, very evenly matched game compared to some of the other ones we've seen in this series so far. Dr. Boomin looking like a very strong team at the moment. Pesto Genoa maybe letting their guard down a tiny bit against Dr. Boomin. Obviously, they're feeling very confident going into this grand final. But letting their guard down a little bit, Dr. Boomin have been able to capitalise on all of their mistakes. A bit of a double commit there, but Arju is going to be able to clear that nonetheless. Hyder in the net, that almost rolls in, but it's going to go off of the post. Sai looking maybe touch that ball there, but Zed is going to be the one that makes it there first. Hyder with an opportunity now, leaves it. Arju is going to fake, and Hyder with the goal.
And it's a lovely play as well. It's off the ceiling once, it's off the backboard there. Arju running interruption, Hyder able to place that ball between the two defenders, and they look at each other with utter dismay as neither of them feel like they can get there in time.
A really good goal to bring Pesto Genoa back into the front seat of this game. They're back in control. They can't let their guard down just yet, as there is only a 1-goal deficit and still plenty of time left for Dr. Boomin to respond. We're seeing Fabzo play a bit slow, considering the time left on the clock. Maybe gonna have to pick up the pace a tiny bit. Sai looking to get a touch there. It's gonna bounce down, looking to get another one over Hyder. Maybe it's not gonna be the case, as Dead is gonna get a touch. Arju gonna send that ball flying into the air, start an attack off the ceiling. Looking to use his flip to get past Sai. It's gonna go off the crossbar. Dead's gonna try to slot that in. Zedo gonna get a save, another save. Going to come off of Hyder's shot, and Dr. Boomin aren't giving up quite yet as he look to start the counter attack.
And that feels like that's some characteristic Boomin play there. Just in time, every time, making sure they're getting the ball away. But now we're going to have to get that just in time mentality working on offense. They have 40 seconds to score, or it will be all over.
40 seconds is not a lot of time, but it is still time nonetheless. But we're seeing Pesto Genoa kind of put on a bit of an attack that could be absolutely detrimental for Dr. Boomin. Fabzo now with a nice touch over to the sidewall. Hyder is going to be able to make the pass over to Arju. The shot is going to be on target. That's going to go in the top left corner. And you'd think now that Dr. Boomin's hopes of bringing this series back are gone. They're fading away with a nice passing play from Hyder to Arju to maybe just bring this series to a close.
Some funny things can happen when teams are up against it. We saw perhaps the beginning of something in that Road Black series. It didn't come to fruition. It is a win on the kickoff for this Dr. Boomin side. If they can get a goal quickly, if they can secure another kickoff, there's always a chance. Sai doing what he can, it's off the corner, but it's cleared by Arju, and that clear, surely the defining moment that seals the series and that €1,050 prize for Pesto Genoa. Dead to the floor, and Pesto Genoa are your champions.
Pesto Genoa easily bringing the game to a close there. A bit more of Dr. Boomin had a bit more, of a fight in them in that game. Pesto Genoa still very confident and still, came back from that one series that they lost.
Yeah, still fought well. I think that Dr. Boomin, especially in these last two games, it's just a shame that they didn't get the ball rolling early enough. I think if they had, we see another competitive series like we had yesterday. Maybe we get to see all 7, like we so sorely deserved, I think, as viewers and as commentators. But it's not to be. I think after a little break, we're going to be hearing from one of the players from Pesto Genoa as they talk about their championship.
Welcome to the Amazon University Esports Masters Finals!
It's a wonderful thing. I feel privileged about this situation because we were able to achieve something, and we are traveling the country, visiting the country, and playing the live final.
Our experience, I met a lot of new people that come from so many different places.
just being with the team and having fun together and actually trying our best to win the competition.
For the first game of the Amazon University Esports Masters final. And it's category 5 for Booman Academy. An absolute hurricane unleashed onto AIX. And they cannot withstand the damage. Dr. Booman Academy are your 2023 Amazon University Esports Masters champions. And it seems as if Amsterdam dips in the wing. Only going to take one shimmer on either side to crown this one, and Fabso may just have found it.
Congratulations on your win. As a team now, you get to claim your prize.
Still manages to get it deep. The objectives had been wrong and second player, they're walking one by one into their graves. Wins Club finally, after a momentary pause.
And to all of you watching at home or wherever you might be, we are all grateful that Amazon University Esports Masters exists.
Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from All I ever wanted was a sign from you, telling me you need me here just like I do. All I ever wanted was to make it through. Tell me, how about you? How about you? So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
Hello, and welcome back to the University Esports Masters 2024 Rocket League playoffs, where we have just witnessed a brilliant grand final with Pesto Genoa. Joining us from Pesto Genoa is Shuffleverse. How are you doing?
All good. Thank you. How
Yeah, a
about you?
very good game that we saw from Pesto Genoa. Any thoughts that you have there?
Yeah, I mean, like we were expecting to win. The guys joined the MVC and they were vibing, so it was all fun and stuff. Like they were not like worried to lose.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. Of course, it was looking a little shaky towards the end there, and it was something Hyder addressed yesterday. Was the felt that Dr. Boomin, when they were playing with confidence, could be very threatening. Was there a point in games 4 or 5 where you felt like the series was slipping away from your team?
Um, like when they play against us, like they feel like they play better in respect versus other teams. So we are every time we're worried that maybe we're gonna lose some games, but in the end we're confident about our capability in playing the game.
Yeah, well, playing the best of the best. Obviously, you guys have just won there. It's gonna bring out a very different side of Dr. Boomin, like you mentioned. I want to briefly touch on the Swiss stage. Obviously, you stepped in during the Swiss. During the Swiss, how did you feel? Did you feel like you were easily making top 8, easily making the grand final?
Yeah. I mean, like we were playing the Swiss because like it started early, so everyone had different like timings and stuff to do. So I was like the only one available, and we played for fun and tried to win every game, basically.
And it seems you did. You've gone the entire academic year so far as a team without dropping a series, as far as my records can keep track of, including domestic leagues. You've swept Florence there as well. Are there any teams you'd like to have another crack against before the academic year closes up?
Like we played against the American team in a show match for one time, and maybe we would like to play them against, like just for see if we will win again.
Well, I'm sure we can pass that message along to GG Tech. I believe they're involved with some leagues over in the Americas as well. So let's see if we can make something like that happen.
Yeah, perfect.
That's praise.
Probably final question from myself. Big prize pool. Any idea what that's going to be splurged upon yet?
Like I think we're gonna split it in like four parts. Just like because we're friends, so we're gonna do it like this way.
And your €2.60, how do you think you're spending it?
I don't know, like mangas, some skins, something.
The essentials.
Nice. Nice. Right. Well, it has been lovely having you with us to talk through your journey and watching your team today, Shuffleverse. I think we're going to have to let you go, though, because we have to bring UEM Rocket League to an end, sadly.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being here.
And what a pleasure it was to cast over these games. A brilliant final that we just got to witness there, and a nice little closing statement from Shuffleverse. The winners for University Esports Masters 2024 will be Pesto Genoa. Very, very confident team. Any final thoughts that you have?
Well, I mean, that bracket says it all, really. Pesto Genoa have dropped 3 games in the playoffs. They, I think, could have done even better had they really brought it to Dr. Boomin in those first couple of games of that upper final. But in the end, they did it cleanly enough. They've made that perfect season happen. They've shown they can take it to the North Americans and show matches as well. And I think if they were provided the opportunity, they would absolutely take it to go out and play some of these teams around the world who've been looking so dominant in other regions as well.
Yeah, definitely. Pesto Genoa have been such an incredible team to watch across the entire tournament, and just such an incredible grand final to witness there. We just want to thank all 16 teams from the 13 different countries who participated. It was brilliant to cast over. We hope you all enjoyed your journey here in University Esports Masters. Make sure that you are keeping up to date with the socials, University Esports Masters over on Twitter as well. That's going to be all from me. I've been Alec, and I've been joined by Leah.
Yeah, thanks for having us. See you all soon.